Romney, I want to give you more time. Did Governor Perry say something that wasn't true?
I'm not sure exactly what he's saying. I don't support any particular program that he's describing. I think that the president, I think that the Secretary of Education, Arne Duncan, is doing a good thing by saying, you know what? We should insist that teachers get evaluated and that schools have the opportunity to see which teachers are succeeding and which ones are failing, and that teachers that are not successful are removed from the classroom. Those ideas by Secretary Duncan, that's a lot better than what the president did, which is cutting off school choice in the Washington, D.C. schools. So let's give us a full chance to talk about them.
Congresswoman Bachmann.
We need to do in education what's always worked historically, and that's local control with parents. What doesn't work is what we see happen right now. I'm a mom of 5 biological kids. We've raised 23 foster children in our home. The reason why I got involved in politics was because of the concern I had about our foster children, the education they were getting. What I would do as President of the United States is pass a mother of all repeal bills on education. I would take the entire federal education law, repeal it, then I would go over to the Department of Education, I'd turn out the lights, I'd lock the door, and I'd send all the money back to the state and localities.
Mr. Cain.
A lot of good ideas, I won't repeat them. All of the programs at the federal level where there are strings attached, cut all the strings. We've got to encourage parents to take advantage of choices, but provide those choices, and we must find ways to empower the students. This is how we're going to improve education, but primarily get the federal government out of trying to educate our kids at the local level.
Governor Huntsman.
This is a key question because it has so much to do with our nation's competitiveness. I feel like I've run my own clinical trial in my home raising 7 kids. We've seen every option. We've experienced everything out there. But as governor, I learned some important things. I signed the second voucher bill in the United States, Carson Smith. I've actually done something about this. We actually worked on early childhood literacy. If you can lock in the pillars of cognitive development around reading and math before age 6, you're giving those kids the best gift possible as they then proceed through education. Finally, you've got to say no to unfunded mandates coming out of Washington. They're totally unacceptable. No one loves their schools more than parents and local school boards and local elected officials. Localize, localize, localize.
Governor Huntsman, thank you. And by the way, everyone likes the new sound. It's far more pleasing instead of the bell. Okay, I guess they do. Chris Wallace with a round of questions on immigration.
Congresswoman Bachmann, as you well know, a number of states are trying to crack down on illegal immigration. We got a bunch of questions on immigration like this one from Tim Emerson. This is a text question, so you don't need to look up there. Tim Emerson of California. He wrote this. Would you support each state enforcing the immigration laws since the federal government is not? Congresswoman, could you answer Tim's question? And if your answer is yes, how do you square that with the Constitution, which says that Congress has the power to establish a uniform rule of naturalization?
Well, the reason why he's asking this question is because the federal government has failed the American people and have failed the states. It's reprehensible that President Obama has sued the state of Arizona and the governor of Arizona for trying to protect the people in Arizona. That's wrong. As President of the United States, I would do what my job would demand of me. That's to uphold the sovereignty of the United States of America. To do that, I would build a fence on America's southern border, on every mile, on every yard, on every foot, on every inch of the southern border. I think that's what we have to do. Not only build it, but then also have sufficient border security and enforce the laws that are on the books with the ICE agents, with our border security. And here's the other thing I would do. I would not allow taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens or for their children. That's a magnet. End the magnets for illegal aliens to come into the United States of America.
Congresswoman, thank you, and we're going to get back to that issue in a moment. But first, Speaker Gingrich, as you well know, there's a debate going on in Congress right now about whether or not to make all employers, all businesses use E-Verify, a government database, to check whether or not new hires are legal. Now, some Tea Partiers object to that idea because they say it would turn small businessmen into immigration agents. But Kristen Williamson of the Federation for American Immigration Reform sent this question. Please look at it.
Kristen Williamson, the Federation for American Immigration Reform. Struggling U.S. workers continue to compete with millions of illegal aliens. Do you support legislation to require all employers to use E-Verify in order to ensure that the people that they hire are actually legally authorized to work in the U.S.? And will you impose penalties against employers who continue to hire illegal workers?
The question, Mr. Speaker, is should employers be required to use E-Verify?
Well, let me say, first of all, I think that we'd be far better off to outsource E-Verify to American Express, MasterCard, or Visa, because they actually know how to run a program like that without massive fraud. Second, the program should be as easy as swiping your credit card when you buy gasoline. And so I would ask of employers, what is it you would object to in helping the United States of America in dealing with a problem involving illegal immigration? But in addition, I want to reinforce what Congresswoman Bachmann said. I strongly favor 100% control of the border, and I strongly favor English as the official language of government. And I favor modernizing the legal visa system to make it far more convenient, far easier, and far more practical here in Orlando, where we have a huge interest in people being able to visit easily for tourism. We have a terribly antiquated legal system, while our border is too open for people who are illegal.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Governor Romney, I want to continue a conversation that you had with Governor Perry in the last debate. In Massachusetts, you vetoed legislation to provide in-state tuition rates to the children of the illegals. Governor Perry, of course, signed the Texas DREAM Act to do exactly that. But what about Governor Perry's argument that it's better to get these kids an education and to get them jobs than to consign them just to being a burden on the state?
It's an argument I just can't follow. I got to be honest with you. I don't see how it is that a state like Texas, to go to the University of Texas, if you're an illegal alien, you get an in-state tuition discount. You know how much that is? It's $22,000 a year. 4 years of college, you're almost $100,000 discount if you're an illegal alien to go to the University of Texas. If you're a United States citizen from any one of the other 49 states, you have to pay $100,000 more. That doesn't make sense to me. And that kind of magnet, that kind of magnet draws people into this country to get that education, to get the $100,000 break. It makes no sense. We have to have it, just as Speaker Gingrich said, and as Michele Bachmann said as well, Congresswoman Bachmann, and that is we have to have a fence, we have to have enough Border Patrol agents to secure the fence, we have to have a system like E-Verify that employers can use to identify who's here legally and illegally. We have to crack down on employers that hire people that are here illegally, and we have to turn off the magnet of extraordinary government benefits like a $100,000 tax credit, or excuse me, discount for going to University of Texas. That shouldn't be allowed. It makes no sense at all.
Governor Perry,